We are not live. We are not live. We are here though, and you know what I'm going to say, Gary? We are alive, which is a positive.
We are.
So, hello, lovely Gary.
Hello, Rachel. I'm all right. Thank you very much. I am. We nearly got snowed in yesterday.
I know we always fool ourselves. Spring's coming. We're all going to be out there in shorts in March. No. Yeah. I mean, I lived with an Australian once, and he once said to me, "When does it start getting warmer?" And I said, "July." And he was like, "What?" Anyway, lovely YouTuber. Hello to you too. Lovely to have your company. Thank you for joining us. Just to say as well, another thing we always say, apart from the fact that we are alive, is could you please hit the like button for us? It helps us with the algorithm, helps us to not get buried deep into the bowels of the algorithm. So yes, if you just hit the like button, hit the subscribe, that would be wonderful. And of course, if you hit the bell, it will tell you every time we have loaded. It's really weird because I've got it on my phone, and it is funny because I've got some massive YouTubers on my phone that I watch. I like YouTube, and whenever I get the alert that CraftyMonkies have just posted, which of course is me, I do always kind of go, ooh, I'm next to these big YouTubers. Of course, they've got 48 million subscribers, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. We're putting it out there, Gary. And that is very in line with the bit of mindfulness that we're going to talk about first of all. So, lovely YouTuber, if you are new, obviously you can see here, we've got, Gary's got his tea, I've got my coffee. It is a tea time tutorial, and we're going to play. And today, well, it could get messy. All I'll say is I couldn't find a penny, so I found a recycling and ink and marbles. It's going to be good fun. Now, if you want to skip our little mindful chat that we always do at the beginning of every YouTube, all you have to do is look at the time go below and go bing, and then you'll be gone. You'll be straight into the crafting. But if you want to stick around, I always throw a quote at Gary, and then we have a little chat about it and about what is the meaning of life. And it's quite nice. And then we move on. So, lovely YouTuber, if you go into the crafting, goodbye, enjoy yourself. Come back. Yes. But right now, if you're sticking with us, so Gary, just going back to what you were saying a second ago, do you know what? I'm going to put this lid on this ink because I'm terrified. I'm already terrified. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess.
There is going to be a mess.
So I haven't got a jewelry on because I thought, oh, I don't want to get it off my hands. Anyway, so I was up for a quote, and today I just saw something, and it was very simple. I don't even know who it's by. It's not really a famous quote. I think it was just someone's musing, but it does tie in with what you just said there, what we said about, you know, putting this bit of happiness out there. And it said, if you want to cheer yourself up, the best way to do it is to cheer someone else up. And I think that is so true, Gary, because you know, I've done it. You know, I've been down or whatever. And you think, right, come on, you know, and I'm not talking here about depression, because that's, you know, if someone's depressed and you go, oh, this is ridiculous. That's a different thing that we're talking about. I'm talking about if you're just a little bit in the dumps, you know. And I've danced around the kitchen to music. That's another great thing to do. I've done all that stuff. But I do always find that if I bring joy to someone else's life and you see that person light up, you instantly feel better about your situation. And I think it's always a good thing to do. It's a good karmic thing to do. It's just a good thing to put positivity out there. So I think that would be my lesson that I would say in life. If you feel a bit down in the dumps, just try and cheer someone else up. Pick up the phone, talk to a friend, you know, or just do something for someone else.
Being a little bit low, what you do is almost become the actor in you. So you act, I'm going to act happy, even though I don't feel great. And after a while, that acting happy actually becomes, oh, I'm starting to feel happy.
Yes.
And it's a very strange thing how it happens. So if you can find the inner actor in you when that situation is coming, like I'm a bit low, then find the inner actor and just, I'm going to pretend to be happy. And I'm going to be happy with people. And then hopefully you'll start feeling a little bit better. I think, you know, that's how it works for me.
Yeah, it tricks the brain. You trick the brain.
Tricking the brain, exactly.
And again, yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, you know, emotions between you and someone else and what you portray is very infectious. I mean, you know, the opposite side to that, if someone's very low and very down and that you come up against them, you come away feeling drained, you start feeling low and down. So that's how infectious emotions and our feelings are to other people. So if you can then sort of pretend to be happy or just come across as being happy and trying to make someone smile. If you can make someone smile, when that comes bouncing back to you, it'll be the reward and it'll be the medicine. It's the medicine to make you feel better.
Reach out to someone, and you know, it does make a difference. It does. And as I say, we're not talking here about more serious issues with depression, kind of thing. Talking about just feeling a bit down in the dumps.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference. So there you go. And we're cheering each other up today, Gary, and cheering you up, lovely YouTuber, if you are watching our crafting sessions. This is what we try and do every Friday. We just try and have fun, you know, and just try and bring a little bit of light into your life. I've got my lovely clips here holding all of my artworks, and I just often have a little look through them, and it reminds me of the time I've been here with Gary, the conversations we've had, and hopefully you'll be feeling the same, that you'll be able to look through your things and think, oh yeah, that was a great little episode and I really enjoyed that. And then maybe you'll reach out to a friend, tell them about our YouTube channel, bring them joy, cheer them up, and guess what? You've cheered yourself up. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Right, so lovely, Gary. Shall we? I mean, one would say that we've lost our marbles a long time ago, you and I, Gary, but shall we lose our marbles now in a pot of ink? It's going to get messy, folks.
It's going to get messy. Right, so what do we need? Well, we've got Rachel. I always have my, you know, when I'm going to do serious, messy business, I put my apron on. Yes. Rachel,
I've got a
what
bag.
about yours? This is what Rachel found when I said, apron. Rachel, go and get yourself an apron. An old plastic bag that she's going to dress herself in.
There we are. Hang on. There. I tell you what's going to work though. It's attractive. Look. It's a look. This is what they do with kids, don't they? Kids in primary school, they put plastic bags on them, I think, like this. But seriously, I've got an apron. I've got 2 cooking aprons. Can I find them? No. And they're beautiful. They're red and white stripes. They would have looked so cool. But instead, I'm in a bag.
Right. No, it works. It's working. It's working. Work that bag, Rachel. Work that bag.
But all you'll be hearing is rustling.
Okay, right. So I don't know if any of you out there have been following the other series of these mindful doodles that I've been sort of like finding and sort of experimenting myself. And they are great. And they're so accessible for everyone out there. And no matter what age you are, no matter what ability you are, they are accessible. So this week, the mindful doodle is actually here on the table. I have got some marbles, and I've got 10 little marbles in my little pot here. So the marbles I'm going to use to start my mindful doodle off with. So it's going to be a bit free. You can't control it, which actually is a really good thing, because I think sometimes we try and control all aspects of our life, and that's where we get frustrated, or we just get sort of stuck in something and just think, oh my gosh, that's how it's got to be. With this, it's going to just find its own way. So the marbles, and then I've got a little, this is just, well, it's a large pot of Indian ink or ink. You can get smaller pots. I think Rachel's got herself a smaller pot. But if you haven't got any ink available, what you could do is you could make up the strongest instant coffee till it's almost like really sort of very browny black. And you could use that as an ink as well. Or you could use some watercolor, some paint that you've watered down. So if it's a water-based paint, like an acrylic or watercolor paint, just make that really sort of like a nice dark black color or dark blue color, and you can use that instead. So you're going to have some ink and some marbles. I'm just going to put that, I'll put that over there out the way. I've got some paper towel just in case, and I think we might be needing the paper towel. So have something to wipe and tap down near you. I've got a spoon, because we're going to spoon out our marbles onto, so I'm going to bring that up next, behind me, or to the side of me, here it comes. Either a baking tray, so you can either have a baking tray, or you could have just an ordinary tray, and you're going to have a piece of paper that just sits in the bottom of that tray. So it's got to, you don't want it sort of lifting up and curling up, because you'll soon see in the moment that you want it to be able to be flat in the pan, but you need something with a sort of a lip around it, because we're going to play within this. So this is what we're going to play with. So it's sort of being a bit sort of texturous with the moving of stuff. I've got a hairdryer by the side of me, so I can dry off. But don't worry, if you haven't got a hairdryer, it's just you need to leave it to dry for a little while. And then think about some colour. You could use felt tips, you could use pencils. I'm going to use my little watercolor paints because I'm quite handy. But if you haven't got any watercolor paints, something to add color later on. Okay. Are you ready, Rachel?
Yes, I am. I am ready.
You're ready. Okay, so I've put the marbles in a little pot because I'm going to just bring that into view into the camera, because you're going to pour not like gallons and gallons of ink on top of this, but you're going to put a little bit of ink into the pot. So just enough to just get just about that much, not a lot, because you don't need much, because what was left over we're going to put back into the pot. But you're going to just put your ink in there. So instantly, I don't know if you can even properly see that, but the marbles have been instantly coated in the black ink, which is rather incredible. So, and then this is why we've got the spoon, because we're not going to use our fingers to pick these out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon, almost like peas onto the plate. I'm just going to spoon, drain off the excess ink, and I'm just going to put them in my tray. So I'm just putting these
I'm so excited.
10 in the tray. This is just so there's no control over this. You just drop them in. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then you move. Look at that. Then you move the marbles.
Oh, I love this.
Look at that. And my tray, I've chosen the right tray, because all my marbles move to the outside. So then I can then go in and I can pick up what's inside. So once you've done that, have you done yours, Rachel? Let's have a look at yours on camera. Let's see what you've done.
I'm just thinking, Gary, I'm going to cut my card down.
Good idea.
Yeah, because like you say, you have got that space around your card for the marbles.
Yes.
And I don't. I'll show you mine in a second. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Should I stick it in there as well, or is it okay just laying it back?
You know, you could put a little bit of masking tape if you've got a bit of that sort of blue tack gum, and you could put that to hold it down. And then just hold it in place.
Okay,
that's fine. And then have you put your marbles in? Let's have a look.
Marbles are in.
Marbles are in. So with the spoon, carefully spoon them in. So not get loads of that. And they cover so well. They're like little blackberries, aren't they?
There's something very exciting about this. I think that I might have got too much ink on there. Hang on.
That's it.
Hang on. I don't want to put all this ink on.
No, you got to drain. It's almost like you got to drain them to the side as you drop them in.
Yeah, I am trying.
I do. That's it.
And
That's
then one
more.
Oh,
there we go. Right.
Okay.
Right. Give that a nice little move that around. Let's see what you get. I like yours is almost like gone to a starburst in there. Right. I think that's enough. I don't think you need to really do much more. That's it. That is it. That's all you've got to do. Well, I think that's probably the most fun I've had all week.
Me too.
I run it's a very sheltered life here in Somerset. Right, so what we've got to do is now what we need to do is we need to take out what we've got to do. And so I'm just going to come back. You might have to stop, Rachel, for a minute. I've lost the picture. Hang on. Touch to return. Oh, we come back. Hang on.
Yep, I've got both on there. Yep.
That's fine. So we're back. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually, because I have prepared a bit of newspaper or something what we're going to do is we're going to carefully lift out this piece of paper and put it down on our table, because we're going to have to dry it. The little marbles can stay in the pan, and then we can take it to the kitchen, wash them under the tap, and we can clean them. But what we need to do is we need to lift out the piece of paper like so, and then we can put it on something. As I say, I've used just a piece of it's lining paper actually, but you could have a piece of newspaper or something like that. I think, Rachel, if you're going to just go straight onto the desk, take caution to the wind.
Well, no, I am going to get some. I've actually got. Hang on, I've got some brown paper here, so I can put that underneath.
That'd be fine.
That's it.
That's it. Lovely.
Lovely. Right.
Lovely.
So now
We're going to dry it with hair dryers now. So we're just going to give it a nice little dry. Hopefully it won't take too long to dry. We'll just give it a nice. There we are. Oh, Rachel, I could just see your hairdryer needs its fluff taken out the back of it, otherwise it's going to overheat one day.
You what, sorry?
You need to take the fluff that sucked up the back of your hairdryer out.
Oh yeah, that is a lot of fluff in there.
That is going to like overheat one day. So just these little.
How do I get that out of there?
Just brush it. Just you can either use a like your vacuum cleaner to suck it out, because it's being sucked one way. You need to suck it the other way. So you just like brush it out with the and get it out with the vacuum cleaner. So
Okay.
that's good though, because that has stopped that sticking in. That's stuck on the outside and it's not inside your hairdryer.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Okay. Lovely.
do you think you're dry? Right. So now what you can do is there's a few things you can do. So you can just add color into little sections. So you imagine you've got lots of little sections. Now you can spend hours and hours doing all the sections, but I would suggest maybe just doing a few sections and just working in some, just maybe picking just a few colors like we have done in our previous little decorations. And you're just going to carefully just paint in the areas, just paint it in, just follow it in. If you've got some blue on or whatever color you've got on your brush, go to another area and do that rather than keep changing. So if you're using one color, maybe take that color out. And it doesn't matter if you slightly go over if you want to. And you're just going to start coloring in and just start to have a look at the areas that you think you're going to color in. And you're going to just start playing and just almost like just now, this is the moment where you start, this is the mindful bit. We've had the fun, we've had a laugh, we've had the best fun we have had all week by rolling some marbles around a pan. Now we're going into much more of a mindful practice. Rather than start thinking about the worries of the day, we're actually going to just start to color in some of the sections within. So within what we've got left. No, you don't have to use color. What you could do is you could do a little loads of doodles like this we've done in the past, where we've just done like little dots, little circles, little squares, and then they could be filled in as well. I mean, as we always say, you could be in any location. You might not necessarily be home. You might not have access to paints. You might be in the office and you might think, right, I'm going to just have some fun in my coffee time. And so you might not have colors. You might have felt tips. You might have some of those highlighter pens. Well, why not use 3 colors in a highlighter pen and just highlight some of the areas? Or you could just do some doodling in amongst it as well. So I think I might introduce a little bit more just black and white doodle into it as well in a minute. I'm still going to just add a little bit more, just a little color. I'm working almost like centrally. I'm not going right on the outside, but I'm just using that color that I've got. And I'm going to just go with that. I'm going to go with the blue. Now, if we talk about complementary colors, a complementary color, a color that sort of like sits opposite it in the color wheel, is orange, because orange contains no blue. So if you've used a primary color, say if you used red, then the complementary color for red is green, because green contains no red, it contains blue and yellow. So if I use orange as my next color, as a complementary color, that will really stand out if I'm thinking of it. Oh, so okay, I've gone straight for blue. So if I go for orange next, then I know that probably that is going to really start to pop out when I add the color to it. So let's see. Let me see what you think. Write your comments if you quite like the addition of the orange now next to the blue, and think about how that works. I'm putting it quite near to it, so I'm going to just add that to it there. I think, Rachel, I must say that you are where we started with. You didn't used to do any arts and crafts, did you? And now you're just like, you're starting to get the equipment and bits and pieces together.
Yeah.
It's surprising what you actually had at home, already, that you had some bits and pieces. So,
well, to be honest, a lot of it was what I bought my daughter as a child. But that's the great thing, that none of this stuff is expensive. It was all from, those shops where things cost £1.
yes.
The little watercolor trays, none of it was expensive paints. And like, when you gave me this idea for the marbles, I just went straight onto Amazon. Of course, there are other places and you could go to a local shop, but I went straight onto Amazon because I'm always short on time. And it was the ink bottle, which, here, look, that's what I bought, this calligraphy ink.
Oh, yeah, calligraphy ink, yes.
And my marbles were £2.99 for a packet of marbles. And
lovely.
And that's it. And that's all you need to be doing this. Like I say, if you wanted to get a cheap set of watercolor paints, once again, a couple of quid. And these brushes that I've got are absolutely rubbish, but they do the job. It's such fun. It's such fun. And I just never gave myself the time to do these things, but it's so important because, Gary, you and I have said that we really enjoy our little crafty time, and we're preaching to people to give yourself this time. I must just shout out to Dawn, who is one of our regular crafty monkeys. She comes on lots of sewing classes, but she's also an incredibly creative lady, and she really gets into the monkey motivation that we do every February. But she's been really following so many of our YouTube tutorials, and then she posts them on her Instagram. I have to say, she's another level. I mean, she, whatever she does, they just always look so good. Whatever she does, I look forward to seeing what she does with this one. But she's a lady. She's busy. She's got children, grandchildren, and she's out there doing these things for herself and really enjoying herself. And it's lovely to see. So thank you, Dawn, for all of your lovely posts.
Your posts, yes, it is lovely. It is really nice. And tagging us in. So if anyone else is doing this, it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could be next year. You come across our YouTube clip. Do tag us in, Crafty Monkeys on Instagram, or Gary Mills Designs on Instagram, and tag us in. And we're most likely to share it as a story, or at least give you like some comments back. We love to see what you're doing. So
absolutely,
I've had a bit of green now. Right. Oh, pink. I like the pink, Rachel. That looks really nice.
I always go for the. I love.
Do.
This is actually not bright enough for me, this pink. I have got a brighter pink over here I might use, but I love black and pink. To me is just a classic.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to be really brave. I'm going to actually go in with a biro. I'm going to go in with one of my marker pens, and I'm going to I'm going to do a little bit of doodling, because not everyone will have paint. So if you want to, what you can do is you can actually then just do some little doodling in some of these squares. So I think if you haven't seen me do this before, we've done this with the rubber bands last week. We've done this with concentric circles. So you can always just go in, and it could be monogram. It could be like just black and white. It could be just mono colors.
Yeah, and do have a look in our playlist, because we've got 32 of these tea time tutorials.
Is it 32?
Yeah, and I know, and some of them are sewing, and some of them are saving ideas. But we have got so many of these artistic ones, and there's so many simple things you can do. Do you know, these are great for kids as well, aren't they? I mean, what fun would kids have doing this? Get them off their computers.
And get them off the computers, get them off their, whatever phone device or app that they're doing. Get them up to the kitchen table. Just cover the kitchen table in some newspaper or some plastic, and just let them have fun. You could all pass around that tray of marbles and see what designs they could come up on their piece of paper. So that could look really quite good fun. I really quite enjoyed that, to see that.
And actually, I've been very careful, and it's not been messy at all. It's not been messy. I didn't need my bag. I didn't need
you did. And how have you got any ink on your hands yet? I haven't got any. I think I've no. So that's good. That is good.
It's good. Ooh, I could sit here and do this all day. Sadly, I have a company to run and other things to do.
Exactly. But if it's just a coffee time activity, or a tea time activity, that's what it's all about. So
and as we always say, you can pick these things up, Gary. So I could stop now, and then, you know, tomorrow, if I want to give myself 10 minutes, just come back, get the paints out.
Yeah. I mean, I must say, there's, you know, you'll never get all the sections filled in one, you know, just in a half an hour. I mean, you could spend all day just filling it in and just doing bits and pieces. It's entirely up to you. But it'd be quite nice, like you say, is actually just go back and then just pick it back up again. And that could be quite nice. I'm having lots of fun. See, now my imagination is running away with me, you see, and I'm starting to do like little bits of cross hatching in some of the squares. And in fact, to me, looking down on it, it's almost, to me, it looks like an aerial view for me where we live, an aerial view of the countryside, looking from maybe the plane or a helicopter, looking down and looking at all the little fields and the shapes of the fields with different things growing in the fields. That's what it looks like. So it could be, depending on, you know, how you've moved it around. So yeah, great fun. I'm just gonna, what am I gonna do? I think I might just do a few circles here, like that.
Like this has been one of my favorites, I think, that we've done. Absolutely love it. And another thing that would be nice to do, because we did it in your art class last night, Gary.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching and you want to take any art classes, we do have them on Crafty Monkeys. They're full sort of hour-and-a-half sessions, and they're £17, or of course in dollars, about $20. We'll have another 3 classes in the autumn coming up, but we have got a class left. If you're watching this around now, we have got an art class coming up next month, 12th of April, I believe.
That's it.
And it's a lovely art class. But we've got also art classes in our video shop to rent. You can just put in Gary Mills in the video section. Once again, I'll put a link below to make it easy for you. But I've completely forgotten what I was going to say now.
I've lost
the plot. I didn't start off with, oh yes, I know what I was going to say. In your art class last night, Gary, people were using those white pens. Now, what are they called? Because they're great to add a highlight.
Okay, so they're Posca pens, and that is just one brand. So a Posca pen is like this. It's white acrylic, and only in this one, but you can get other colors. So it's like an acrylic felt tip in a way. Now the idea, it's got a little, and we were talking about this last night. What it is like, it's got obviously got the paint inside, and it's probably got some sort of like other like a solvent base in there as well. So when the inside, there's a little not a marble, but a little ball bearing. So you have to shake that to get that mixed up. You then to the side, so on the side on a piece of paper, just press the nib up and down until the ink starts to flow through, and then you can use it as like a little highlighter pen. So you can just add like little dots of white, or you can draw in white. So if you had a darker area and you wanted to put some white over the top, so that makes your picture sort of like pop out at you, you can use it for that. So I love my Posca pen, but as I say, you can get other variations. I've got one here which is called Uni Paint, and this is a white marker, and again it works on exactly the same process. That's got a little ball bearing inside of it, but it's just a bit smaller, and I think the nib actually is probably about the same size, and I think it works about the same. Yeah, it works about the same. You have to really get the acrylic mixed well inside with the solvent, and then it comes through. You get quite a nice little mark with it. It's exactly the same, and you can use that as well. So there are other ones. You could use Tipex, Tipex correction fluid for you know, you could use that on the little brush and dab that on as well. So yeah, we were using these last night, and I do like my Posca pen. I'm a bit worried when it runs out, so I'm going to have, this is the only one I've got at the moment, so I need a spare in place so that I'm ready for when that happens. So with all things, I think you have to sort of like think, when you've got to a point where you're happy and you think, no, that is just enough, because always less is more. You need to leave some white spaces. You need to leave some of it undecorated, because then that will add the importance to the decorated spots in there. And if you look at mine sort of clusters near enough round towards the center. And then I've added some paint, and then I've added some little bits of pattern as well. So I've just played and doodled with my pen to add that also. How's yours, Rachel? That looks lovely. Well, I can see the colours.
It does look lovely. I was thinking about just doing a little touch of, as you
patching.
Have.
Yeah.
So a little something in there. Yeah.
And again, you'll see on some of the other examples that we've done, we've actually added some words. So you could add words. They could be poignant words in the day or the week, or it could be an affirmation. So you could add those, and that you could just write and have the words just running around the edges of some of the lines as well, or just have one word in one section. That could look quite good too. There's a lot of ideas just from a bag of marbles and some ink and a piece of paper.
Amazing. Right. I'm going to leave it there. I could go on, but I won't. Wow. Do you know, Gary, can I just say something? We do so many of these exercises. And of course, one thing I always say to people is never judge yourself against other people. And I always judge myself against you, because you're a proper artist. And I always look at these things that I do and think, that's not right. You know, I was like Gary's more. I have to say, Gary, that today,
you like yours more?
Well, I feel they're on par. I feel they're on par. I look at them both and go, yeah, they're both working. They're both working their own way. I love it. I'll just bring it closer up to the camera so people can.
I do know. I love your choice of colours, and they really look good. Have you ever seen like sort of Mondrian type?
Yes. Yes.
So you've got, you know, that's, you know, filling in the little boxes and things like that. And he was an abstract artist as well. So now we've had a taste of being abstract artists. And you might think, well, that was easy. You know, but it takes a bit of practice though. And as you practice, like you are now, getting a really nice, the colors are really working and complementing each other. So that just comes with the experience and just being observant and thinking, I like that color. What will go with that other color? What will go next to it? What would look nice? And so that comes with experience and a little bit of experimentation, things going wrong and things going right.
I think, quite frankly, I'm going to submit it to the Tate Modern.
We're going to submit it for the Royal Academy for their summer exhibition. You never know, because they take everybody. You have to submit your work, and then you just have to wait and see if the judges like it. So you have someone from a little 11-year-old with their painting through to someone that's really established artist, all exhibiting at the same time at the summer exhibition at the Royal Academy in London.
That's a lovely idea. I'll put it in and say I'm 7. And then it might go, wow, that's good. But that's really something, Gary. It's about having fun, and I've really enjoyed that. I mean, I've got to clean that marble frame now.
Yes,
that's easy.
We've all got now.
Put it into water. Stick it into water. It's fine.
It'll be fine. It'll wash off.
But yeah, no, really great fun. And as you say, we've actually had a go at being an abstract artist today, and I think it's a great way to start. I'm really proud of that. You know what I'm going to do? It's going on my going on. Look, it's taking pride of it.
There we are.
Hang on. There it goes. Ooh.
There you go.
Happy with
you're
that.
Going to have to get, you know, Rachel, you're going to have to get a bigger board for all this work that you're putting up.
I am going to have to get a bigger board. This is becoming very obvious. I'm going to end up filling that entire wall.
You are.
Anyway, lovely, Gary. Thank you so much for bringing that to my door. I can't wait for the next week. We don't know what it is yet, but we will. No. We always come up with something. The universe will bring something to us. So let's just manifest it right now. And we'll bring that to you, lovely YouTube viewer, in the next tea time tutorials. As I say, please check out the playlist. There are so many others like this that you can have fun with. Get the kids involved, get the grandkids involved, get yourself involved. Just give yourself that time, and let a friend know. Cheer them up, cheer yourself up. Everybody wins. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.